How long have you been in Cuba now? 3 days?
The flags decorating Jessi Calzado-Esponda's office outside Washington reflect her love of two countries, the United States and Cuba.
I've always considered the United States and Cuba kind of like two divorced parents. And like the United States being my father, Cuba being my mother. And it's my job to kind of bridge the differences between both of them because I love both of them.
When the U.S. reestablished diplomatic relations with Cuba after more than 50 years, Calzado-Esponda launched a travel agency called Cuba Inspires.
Everything's been going great. First real clients were the Kardashian team. We have amazing celebrities. We have churches and nonprofits and corporations and schools. And I love being able to introduce Americans what Cuba is.
Calzado-Esponda was born in Havana, Cuba, into a family that loves music.
Music was always part of my life, even from a very young age. I remember that, sometimes when the lights would go out in Cuba, all my family would come out with guitars and they would be singing and there would be, some dancing.
Her happy childhood abruptly ended at age 7 when she was accidentally placed in a makeshift raft headed for America.
My aunt was going to come to America, and as we were saying goodbye to her, there was some chaos. In the blink of an eye, I found myself in a raft with my grandmother.
The group of refugees was rescued at sea by the U.S. Coast Guard and transferred to the U.S. Naval Base in Guantanamo Bay. They spent 6 months there before being relocated to Tampa, Florida.
After my aunt committed suicide, my grandmother and I ended up living in a homeless shelter for a period of time.
It was there that a teacher noticed her talent in music and helped her earn a high school scholarship.
Little by little, of course, we struggled here and there, but we made it, and again, it was a lot to do with the community and the support that we got from our community.
After graduating from high school, she moved to Washington and landed a job with a congressman until a car accident left her with a brain injury causing memory loss.
And I put my faith in God. It took me a very long time to get to the point where I'm at right now.
Almost 20 years after her accidental departure, Calzado-Esponda went back to Cuba.
And unfortunately, one day before I was able to come into Cuba, my mom passed away. So the very first time I ever met my whole family was at my mom's funeral. And it's one of those things that's very surreal, and it's also very bittersweet.
In 2010, Calzado-Esponda finally found a country she can call her own.
Becoming a U.S. citizen was one of the best days of my life. Until then, I still had the immigration status of refugee. And so becoming a full-fledged American, to me, meant the world.
Now Calzado-Esponda's plate is full, planning to host events including a first US-Cuba youth choir competition and a marathon. For producer June So, I'm Carol Pearson, VOA News, Washington.